So, I bet you're wondering what that little funny tumor is doing there on my channel as a Mario release video. A short answer, spite. In all seriousness, on March 10th, 2023, Mario Day, I released this model for the world to download. Hatsune Mario! Yippee! But why exactly did I do this? Was it out of the kindness of my heart? Because I wanted the world to be able to use Mario dressed as famous Vocaloid Hatsune Miku in their videos? No, idiot. I released this updated version because, well, the model was already public. The funny thing is, I never released it prior. Since the decompilation of Super Mario 64 in 2020, numerous projects have been created, one of which being Super Mario 64 X Co-op, the definitive multiplayer Mario 64 experience that effectively buried Net 64 6 more feet under than it already was. Also in 2020, I was going like full blast on model importing, as I had just learned the basics and I was ready to create any monstrosity my 15-year-old brain thought of at the time. Barely any models I'm proud of now, but hey, I was able to make them, and that thought satisfied me back then. I ended up creating the original, actually good-looking Hatsune Mario model around April to September of that year. I'm not sure which, because File Explorer won't tell me. And by then, myself and many others were still friends with a person named Amit TR38, now known as Green Weibo 38. Wow, he really did not try to find a new identity. He's even using the same color code. Okay, well, shortly after I imported the model and showed it off to my friends on Twitter, Amit hit me up in DMs asking for me to change the blue to green to match his color code more. I edited and coughed up the ROM, not knowing how these actions would soon bite me in the butt later. Early December 2020, Amit gets accused by WeeGPie of predatory behavior on Twitter. I won't get into that here though, it's kinda gross and most of the tweets were deleted so you don't get the full context. It was just a whole thing. This expose ultimately led to Amit's removal from the Mario 64 Machinima community for good. Notice how I said just the Super Mario 64 Machinima community. Fast forward about 2 years. It's 2022 now. May specifically. I'm scrolling through the X Co-op server looking for mods that me and my friends could play with. I come across a screenshot with a model that looks awfully familiar, but I shrug it off as just a coincidence. Like a week later, my friend Rise sends me a photo of one of Unreal's community posts, a character model for the Super Mario 64 PC port under the name Hatsune Miku, which is a very stupid name by the way. I investigate a bit more, and by investigate I mean I was told that the model was uploaded by Amit. Ever since he was banished from the Machinima community, he's been hanging around the PC port side of Super Mario 64, with nobody knowing of his past events. I did not take this lightly. I quickly thought of all the ways that he could have possibly gotten the model, and then it hit me. That silly little color swapped model I gave to him back in 2020, he imported the model to Blender, slapped some materials on it, and exported it as a Dino Spiral. And to nobody's surprise, I did not get an ounce of credit whatsoever. Hell, it took Rise to ask Unreal to credit me in his description, because I was honestly too scared to do it myself, so big thanks to her. So now, completely out of spite, I updated the Hatsune Mario model for use with Saturn and released it to the public, and even left a petty remark towards Amit in the description. He and I haven't spoken since 2020, and I hope it stays that way. Just know that if you try to take my models again, or not credit me for something again, Amit, I will lash back again. It may be something as trivial as Super Mario 64, but credit is credit nonetheless, you bastard. Also, Hatsune Mario is the better name. I will die on this hill. Hatsune Miku, more like Hatsune Mitku. Ooh, got him.